It was a quiet Sunday morning in Austin, Texas, when the words that would change my life slipped out of my mouth. I hadn't meant them. They weren't thought through. But sometimes, words spoken in jest can cut deeper than a knife. My husband Ryan and I had been married for 8 years. He was gentle, thoughtful, and always put others before himself. But he wasn't the stereotypical strong, tough guy people expected husbands to be. He wasn't tall and broad-shouldered. He wasn't loud or intimidating. Instead, he was quiet, bookish, and preferred listening to jazz over watching football. And on that morning, as we were sitting with friends at brunch, laughing and trading stories, I made the worst joke of my life. My husband. I laughed when someone brought up what they'd do if a robber broke in. Oh, Ryan could never protect me. He's too weak. Everyone laughed. Everyone except Ryan. I'll never forget the way his face fell. The laughter around the table didn't matter. The hurt in his eyes did. He didn't say anything right away, just gave a small, tight smile and excused himself. I thought he was embarrassed, maybe overreacting. I didn't realize how deep those words had cut until later that evening when he packed a small bag. "Ryan, where are you going?" I asked, panic rising. He didn't yell. He didn't accuse. His voice was calm, steady, and filled with pain. "You don't respect me, Emily," he said. "You made me the punchline in front of everyone. Do you know how that felt? To hear my own wife call me weak." I stammered. "It was a joke. It wasn't funny," he interrupted, his voice breaking. "Not to me." And then he left. That week was the longest of my life. The house felt empty without him. His shoes by the door, his coffee mug in the sink. It all reminded me of what I had done. Friends who had been at brunch called me. Some said I was too harsh. Others brushed it off as just a joke. But none of them understood the silence in my home, the way my chest ached every time I looked at the empty side of the bed. I tried calling Ryan. He didn't answer. I sent texts, apologizing over and over, but they remained unread. And for the first time, I realized that respect, something I had always taken for granted, was the foundation of love. Without it, everything crumbles. A week later, Ryan finally agreed to meet me at a cafe. He looked tired, his eyes shadowed from sleepless nights. "Ryan, I'm so sorry," I blurted the moment he sat down. "I didn't mean it. I was trying to be funny. I never meant to hurt you." He stirred his coffee slowly. "Do you know how long I battled that thought? That maybe I wasn't strong enough for you? That maybe I didn't live up to what a husband is supposed to be? And then you, my wife, said it out loud." Tears filled my eyes. "Ryan, you are strong. Stronger than anyone I know. You've carried me through losses, through failures, through nights I didn't think I'd survive. I was cruel to forget that. Please, don't leave me." He didn't answer right away. Instead, he said, "If we're going to move forward, I need to know you'll never belittle me again. Not in private, not in public. Because love without respect is just a cage." The months that followed weren't easy. We went to counseling. I had to face the truth. I had let my insecurity and my desire for attention turn into careless words. Ryan, on his part, opened up about how deeply he struggled with feeling enough in a world that glorified a very narrow idea of masculinity. He admitted he often felt overlooked, even though he worked tirelessly to support me and our home. It wasn't about him being weak. It was about me failing to see the quiet strength he carried every single day. The strength it took to be patient. The strength it took to forgive. The strength it took to walk away instead of lashing out. Slowly, we began to rebuild. A year later, Ryan and I celebrated our 9th anniversary. At dinner, I raised my glass and said, "To my husband, the strongest man I know. Not because of muscles or bravado, but because of the heart he carries." Ryan smiled then, really smiled, and I knew we had made it through the storm. Looking back, I realized my careless joke nearly cost me the person I love most. Words matter. Respect matters. And sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who never have to prove it with fists or threats. They prove it with love, consistency, and quiet resilience. I almost lost my husband by calling him weak. But what I learned is this: the only weakness in our marriage was my failure to see his strength. And I will never make that mistake again.